Here's my domain Incognito. This was planted about 3 weeks ago, and it's already about 10 to 12 inches growing. It's just 1313 fertilizer on it, and it's taken off pretty well for a buffer strip. So this is the domain seed in my food plot. It's just popped up. This is a combination of Big Sexy and Showstopper. I planted Big Sexy last year, it took off pretty well. We'll see how the Showstopper comes off. We're kind of in a drought right now, so been out here watering a little bit. I am close to irrigation for it, but it's taken off pretty well in the last 2 weeks. I think this plot's been in it for about 3 weeks so far, and I've done 80 pounds so far of fertilizer on it, just 13 and getting it watered in here due to no rain. So we'll see what it comes out here in the next week or two. This is my domain illicit. This was planted about 3 weeks ago, and it's been seeded once with 1313 fertilizer. Overall, it's been taken off pretty well. I'll keep you posted on the up-to-date to see if it will reach 8 foot tall by 60 days, as they claim. This is what the domain food plot looks like now. As mentioned earlier, kind of in a little bit of a drought. There hasn't been much rain, and I want to get this domain food plot kicked off. So I went off, had it tilled first. Then these are the implements that I used to get it. I just have an old harrow right here, harrow drag that I had. Then I had made a DIY cultipacker just out of concrete, a culvert pipe, and then had it welded up and pull it around, and that does pretty well. It helps with the seed to soil contact. And this so far has been about 3 weeks of what the food plot has actually been planted right here. This is probably the second time that I've had to put a little water on it to help with the fertilizer, since I just put fertilizer down on it to help it grow. But I've got the Incognito over here. The rest of this is mixed in with Big Sexy and Showstopper right here. Here's an update of the domain Incognito. This is about 3 weeks from my previous video. As you can tell, some stuff's about 3 to 4 feet in the center. On the corners right here, it's probably about anywhere from 16 to 20 inches. I did put down about 50 pounds of fertilizer here. The last rain we got, which would have been about a week ago, so we'll see if this stuff really jumps off. But center here is probably getting to about 5 foot, so it'll be a nice little barricade screen for me for my food plot. Okay, now let's check out some of the domain. This is the Big Sexy. This includes turnips, radish, forage rape, and kale. As you can tell, it is overseeded a little bit heavy. I've had pretty good luck. It seems like about late October to early November is when the deer really get in here and start hammering this plot. So they will thin some of this out before the big turnips come in and finally finish up. So this is the domain Showstopper food plot on this side. It is mixed in a little bit with the Big Sexy, but the Showstopper has a hybrid forage brisca, rutabaga, turnip, and rapeseed. We have had a little bit of rain here, not near as much. I have been able to get water up here, so I put a little bit of water down here this week, and I also put another 50 pounds of fertilizer here. So this should jump up here quite a bit in the next 2 weeks, especially once we get the cooler temperatures in here. This stuff will probably jump up to 2-3 feet. And I'll show you once I get some of the bulbs and stuff on the turnips and radishes what they look like. This stuff planted on here on the end of the corner came up a little bit later. Wasn't able to get near as much water to it compared to the other side of the food plot. So it is coming up slowly but surely. As you can tell, this center is filling in pretty good right here. I would say this is anywhere from 6 to 7 inches tall so far, and there's really no bulb development or anything yet. Here over the next probably 3 weeks, it'll jump up pretty good, and the bulbs will be probably about egg size. And then later on in November, they will probably get up to about softball to tennis ball size. Like I said, the deer will graze this a little bit, so they will clean some of this stuff out. It is very well overseeded, but they hammer the stuff out of this green, this first frost that we get. So I just put down 13-13 fertilizer on here. The first off when I started seeding it, watered it in really well. I do have access to irrigation right here in this food plot. And then approximately about 1 week ago, I put down another 50 pounds of 13-13 fertilizer. So hopefully here in the next week or two, it should start jumping up. All right, so here's an update of the food plot. This is how it's coming along. This stuff is shooting up a little bit slower than I thought here on the outside. I don't know if I just don't have enough fertilizer on it or what, but I would say in the center right here, it's got to be just about 6 foot by now. This food plot has probably jumped up to be about 1 foot or 2. I'll show you. This stuff is overseeded pretty heavy, which is okay with me. Generally, the deer will come in here and they'll start browsing the rest of this and clean it up, and then it'll have some bigger bulbs right here. I'll show you where kind of the deer have been grazing and show you the difference. So the deer have really been hammering this side right here. Like I said, you can see all the tops and stuff are gone right here and kind of munched down, so they've been favoring this side a little bit different. Like I said, I try to mix it about half and half, different side of the food plot, and kind of blended it in, so they are working on this side right here and kind of hammering this a little bit first before they go over and hit a lot of the turnips and stuff. So here's how some of the other food plot is coming along on this side. Like I said, there's 2 sides to it. Where I have over here, this is more of my barricade strip right here. That way when I pull up at the house and stuff like that, the deer don't run or see me when I come up. So this is what some of the plants are looking right now. Like I said, this is hand size. Doesn't look like there's any turnips popping out of the ground quite yet, but I know they're in there. I've seen a few already that have decent sized turnips on them. We are in a pretty severe drought right now, so I'm just kind of lucky enough I can get some water over here and put some water on them every couple days. Otherwise this food plot would probably be dead. It's the only downfall about this. This does take a lot of water and a lot of nitrogen. I just put down a bunch of nitrogen about 5-6 days ago and then hit this right here, so I expect this stuff right here will probably jump up to about 4 to 5 feet here in the next week or two with some water on it. So I'm here on the other side of the food plot right here. As you can tell, this is generally what it's looking like. The center's pretty good. A couple things on the edge, they aren't near as big. Just haven't been able to get quite as much water there and as much fertilizer. Here's one of the plants right here. You can see the turnips. I can get zoomed in here for you to see. See it right here. So they are starting to come up. Like I said, this is seeded a little bit heavy, which is okay though. Like I said, deer will come in here. We're supposed to have our first frost in about 3 to 4 days, so it will definitely sweeten this stuff up, and the deer will come in here and hammer this. This food plot in general is about 3 times bigger than what I did last year, so overall I'm pretty happy with it, especially with the Incognito, the barricade. Like I said, we've got some stuff that I wanted to shade from the house and stuff that the deer can't see because it is up on top of the hill compared to our house. It sits a little bit lower. I'll try and get in here in the center and show you what some of the other plants look like. So here's another one. Like I said, they are bigger than hand size right now. Here's one of the turnips right there that you can see already coming up. So overall it's going good. This should probably be about like what your seed rate is in here. That way the plants are allowed to fill in a little bit. Like I said, this is overseeded pretty heavy, but that's okay. The deer browse and stuff, it'll clean it up, and then we'll still have some turnips. It just won't be as big as what they should be. So stay tuned and I'll keep you updated here in the next couple weeks. So this is what the whole food plot looks like. I would say it's probably anywhere about 1/4 of an acre. what it is, and that's with the barricade strip there, and the other side of the food plot on there. And that side's not near as big. So overall, the plants do look pretty healthy. Like I said, I put down a pretty heavy dose of high nitrogen fertilizer. I just got that from the grass pad, local grass and seed store near us. So hopefully this stuff will jump up here in the next 2 to 3 days, or possibly the next week. I've been kind of hitting it hard with water and trying to get it jump up before this first frost here. Like I said, the deer have been hammering in this plot, so they are kind of browsing some of the edges and stuff and kind of knocking it down. So, which is no big deal. Alright guys, it is November 4th today. This will be the final update of my food plot. This is the domain food plot that I've been keeping you guys in touch with pretty much throughout the last month and a half. We finally got just about an inch and a half of rain 2 days ago, another inch of rain last night, and we're going to get some more tonight too. So after having no rain for about a month and a half, we're finally getting some good rain. It's probably not going to help it a whole lot, but it'll do something at least. Alright, so let's check out this screening right here from Domain. As you can tell, some of this is looking pretty good. We had kind of a hard freeze about 2 weeks ago. It stunted the growth or whatever, so it didn't quite get as tall as I wanted it to, but as you can tell in the middle it's probably 6-7 feet tall. On the edges right here, there's probably not near as much lime and fertilizer. It kind of stunted the growth a little bit. It's only about 2 feet over here, but that's okay. I just wanted to block mainly the general area of this and then block this side from our house right here. So hopefully a little more lime next year, or maybe even some actual perennial bushes and stuff like that next year would be a little bit better, but just a work in progress. So here's some of the turnips, some radishes and stuff. Most of this stuff is about 18 to 20 inches high. They're starting to get some good developments on the bulbs and stuff. Let's see if I can find one here for you real quick. So this is what the bulbs are starting to look like. Radishes, I'd say they're anywhere probably about softball size right now. Some more of the radishes that are coming up. Pull one of these up here and see how big they actually are. So overall these ones are probably about baseball size, maybe just a touch bigger, but this is a smaller plant. There is some other ones in here that are probably softball size right now, but I'll leave them. But like I said, this is pretty good size, and overall I'm pretty impressed with how it turned out again this year. Like I said, I doubled it from what I did last year. This stuff did take a little bit to go off, but you know, we didn't have any rain and stuff, so I did put some water down and finally took off. Over here you can tell it's just a little bit stunted. The deer were hammering the crap out of this in late fall or early fall. I'll try and throw a video up here once the deer get this thing well cleaned off here, and hopefully like January, February, maybe March or whatever, they'll clean all this off. It'll pretty much just be bare dirt, and they'll start digging the bulbs out of the ground. So I'll try and keep you posted on that, and just throw a couple pics in the comments and stuff like that section of it to see what it goes from. Like I said, right here is this section right here is probably anywhere from 18 to 20 inches high. All right guys, well, thank you for tuning in for Anderson Outdoors. This will be the final update review of what I have of the Domain food plot. Like I said, I planted this early or late August, and it's taken off a little bit slower than I thought. We didn't have much rain, so I've been lucky to have a little bit of irrigation that I can get to it and put some water on it. Like I said, we kept you updated. We finally just got a little bit of rain. It's not going to help a whole lot, but these are what most of these bulbs look like right now. They're probably just a little bit bigger than baseball size. There's a couple that are probably about softball size in here. Like I said, I've been very happy with the Domain products. This is the second year that I planted it. The deer have hammered it this year. They've pretty much been up here every single night. The first year that I planted it, since it was a new food plot, it did take a little bit of time for them to get acclimated to it and find the food. This year they know that it's already been up here, so they've been up here every single night. So I will make sure at the very end of the video to throw a couple pictures on there on the deer that have been up here hammering it. Like I said, they're up here every single night, and this is definitely a great resource and food source for the deer. And you know, it just helps them get up here and stay a little bit longer, and it obviously helps with your hunting experience, you know. So I would highly recommend getting the Domain food plot and putting it in here and trying it for yourself. So just do a little bit of research, make sure pH, fertilizer, lime, whatever you do, the right kind of equipment and stuff like that to get it planted, and you'll have a successful hunting season. Thanks for tuning in. Into Anderson Outdoors and staying up to date on this food plot from Domain. You saw it from seed all the way to the very final product, so make sure to stay tuned for some more videos and make sure to like and subscribe so I can continue to grow the channel.